Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Nursing Uncharted. This episode I'm so excited about because it's going to highlight both of our experiences of TravCon. And for me, it's even more exciting because this is my first year. So before we dive too much into that, I will now introduce my guest. I'm so happy to have met you because we have a connection that I didn't even know we would have. And, I'm just kind of excited to have this conversation with you. So welcome, Nicole.
Hi, everyone. Oh my gosh, it was so exciting to meet you and to figure out what our connection was. What a small world. So I
It's
love
so
that for
small,
us.
and that's something that, like, with this podcast, like, the amount of times that has happened, it's like it's mind-blowing 'cause there's how many people, and you just always cross paths with at least someone that and it's like, it's so crazy, so
It really just brings the world full circle. We are all connected in some way, shape, or form. So
it definitely does. So, before we dive into this, just if you want to explain a little bit about who you are and what you do.
yeah. Absolutely. So, my name is Nicole Obra. I am a director of recruitment here at AMN Healthcare. I have been with the company almost 12 years. This will have been my fifth TravCon that I attended. I am a team lead, so in charge of all the planning and logistics to make sure that the show goes off without a hitch.
And from my experience, it was so fun. I'm so happy that I got to go this year and spend time with the AMN team and meet all of you. So the fact that you've gone 5 years, I'm super jealous because I'm sure you get to meet so many new people. And from the feedback that I've heard, it was different this year than years compared. So, and again, just jealous that you've been there for 5 years, and I hope I get to go again.
Yes, yes. Oh my gosh. Well, yes, it is different every year. Every year we come in with a different theme for our booth. We have a different team that comes along with us. So we have our core people who come, myself and Christina Johnson, who's the other team lead for this event, along with our marketing team. But, kind of just depending on how the market itself looks will kind of depend on who else is coming with us. So we were lucky enough this year to have three of our travel nurse recruiters come. So that was Megan McIntosh, Avina Fields, and Carrie Fedor. And then we have our two allied recruiters, Erin and Kaylee, who come every year with us to be able to talk about and speak on allied trends in the marketplace and just, be able to have that connection with the allied travelers that are
Yeah.
attending because there are allied people there as
There
well as
there
travel nurses.
are. Yeah. Yeah. So before we dive too much into this, I mean, I was so excited to have this conversation with you. Let's kind of talk about what TravCon is.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like if you're in the travel world, you know that, but like, it for those listening who maybe don't know what TravCon is, can you speak on, what it is and why it's important?
Yeah, so TravCon actually is short for Travelers Conference. So it is a conference that is held every year in Las Vegas, Nevada, that is geared specifically toward travel nurses and allied. So every year we come together the same weekend in September at the Paris Hotel in Las Vegas for this event that gets put on by the Gypsy Nurse. And we are able to just come together. There are agencies there. There are travelers, there are hotel groups, anything that's really tied to travel nursing. We'll even see like people offering insurance there. We were graced with some therapy dogs this year. So just a
Oh,
lot of really fun vendors and everyone's, coming together for the common thing of learning more about travel nursing. So if you're brand new, this is a great conference for you to go to because you're going to be able to meet so many different agencies in person,
yeah.
be able to have great conversations, maybe find your next recruiter. You'll also be able to meet fellow travel nurses and make friends and just really network. There's a lot of different opportunities for you to listen in on speaking moments where we could talk about anything from, like I said earlier, allied market trends all the way up to Nursing Beyond Borders, which
Yeah.
is talking about humanitarian trips. You can get your CEUs done. This year we had a keynote speaker who was a humorist and he was hilarious, Terry
So
Foster. He
funny.
was awesome, awesome. There's
Yeah.
so there's so much to offer and there's so much more besides that, there are happy hours, there are after parties, there are fitness and wellness events. So it really just is a whole weekend of fun for everyone to be able to come together to not only maybe find their next travel assignment, but also just to come together with all of these people that are out there doing the same thing, making an impact in the world. So that's like a really cool event. It's networking, it's bonding, it's all of the above.
Yeah. And I was really surprised with, what just the we always we're different agencies, right? There's many different agencies out there, and just the cohesiveness of everyone. And we go visit their booths, they come visit our booth, and just it was nice to see that it's really not like a competition where we don't like each other. It's really like a world of just everyone doing the same thing and everyone getting together and just kind of being a team in the travel world. The travel world's changed over, you've been doing this 5 years. Let's talk about, I've been a travel nurse for 6 years. That world is changing. So what you can take, from, I was there as a nurse, but also part of the AMN team. And, just being able to learn from what maybe the other agencies are experiencing and, get that feedback. I think that's really really important for me as a nurse to understand and know that we're always scared to talk about, well, I have a recruiter with this company and this company, but it's really important to have those open conversations with whomever you're working with. And I thought that was a really cool, like, collaborative thing that I was not expecting.
Yeah, and that's a great call out. Like, that is something that you will notice there. Like, we're all here for the same reason.
Yeah.
We, as agencies, are here, we are looking to see who is interested in working for us, who is wanting to explore the world and build their career. Not every agency is a good fit for every traveler. So instead of sitting on the phone and listening to a conversation, you get to do that live and in person.
Mhm.
It's really cool to be able to put a face to a name to make that bond with someone and to really truly understand, like, what does this company have to offer me versus what this company has to offer me. And then if you've got questions, you can just ask
Yeah.
them. And then you can make that decision. And then it's cool too, because there's so much traffic going around that, at any given moment, a new nurse who's never traveled with us before could be standing next to someone who's been traveling with us for 20 years, and they overhear the conversation, and the next thing you know, they've made that connection, and
Yeah.
now they're telling them about their experience, which just helps to strengthen that that connection even more. So, it is really cool to see, and yeah, at the end of the day, we're all here to just do the job at hand, which is to get nurses to the bedside and to be able to keep the hospitals running, and nurses wanna work, they wanna build their career, they
Yeah.
wanna travel, like, that is a thing. So, to be able to all come together and support each other in doing that is just really fulfilling and something I love to see year after year.
Yeah, and it made me something, this year I've talked about a lot on different episodes was just, the nurse getting back to why we're doing what we're doing as nurses and why we're traveling and understanding, these hospitals need us to be there. And it was nice to be around people and to see it firsthand that that is the majority of how we feel. And it was just really refreshing, to see that. And to speak on the, meeting a new travel nurse or someone who's been in the industry for a while, but didn't know who AMN was. And it was a conversation I was having with someone. And I was there, kind of as a guest. I wasn't really trying to get involved in those conversations. But he was like, wait, what are you saying? And I'm like, well, have you heard of AMN? And he's like, no. And I'm like, well, let me connect you. It was kind of like a cool little experience for me as a travel nurse.
Yeah, and, I think AMN's been around for 40 years, right? We celebrated our 40th
Oh,
birthday
that's
here
right.
at the
Yes.
conference, so with our big old cake on Tuesday.
Yes.
But yeah, it's, you sometimes you forget that not everyone knows who we are, and that's okay. Like, some people just aren't as connected or in the know about what's going on or what agencies are out there, and there's a lot of movement in our market too.
Yeah.
So, it's sometimes I forget what I'm gonna say next when someone says that, like, "Oh, I've never heard of you guys." I'm like, "But what? Huh?" Like, Okay.
How?
But here, let me tell you,
Yeah.
because it is, everyone's so busy doing their own thing. They're so busy working, they're going to school, they're just doing life. And that gets in the way sometimes of just knowing what opportunities are out there. But it is really word of mouth, right? If you're not out there
Yeah.
actively searching for those things, it is hearing what your peers have to say, what your friends have to say, or, whatever, some person that you met at a conference, what they have to say. So, it is fun when we do get those clinicians and allied specialties that come up to us and they don't know. And then I feel like, wow, this is my opportunity to really let you know what is going on and to be able to just inform you and answer any questions that you might have, because that's what we're there for, is to just give you all the tools and resources that you need to make the right decision that's going to fit best for you.
Yeah, and it's kinda it speaks onto something that I also thought about, like, what like, why do we even go? Like, everyone knows, and it's like, no, they don't, but also, you may hear of a travel company and not know enough about them or maybe have heard whatever about them, and to actually see them in person and meet the people that actually work there, it is important. So, I'm guessing that is the reason that AMN shows up every year, to represent, and to meet the recruiters in person and just to see and feel the energy. And that's something that, you know, yes, I was there with you, but to stand back and, like, watch how you guys interacted with the travel nurses was, like, my first day for, like, the first couple hours, I was like, "What?" Like, it was a lot, and you guys, your energy level just, like, maintained, and I think that has a lot, to say for, like, why you're there and, like, why the recruiters are so excited. You could feel that, and you could feel the energy.
Yeah, and I love that, and thanks for sharing that. I mean, it is an exciting thing that we do, like, I don't know how other agencies pick who comes with them, if they have a set team every year, but, we know that this is a big deal, and some recruiters work in our offices here in San Diego or Boca or Dallas, but some of them are fully remote, so they don't get that in-person interaction in the office, much less with clinicians face to
Yeah,
face. So, to be able to give this opportunity to recruiters to say, "Hey, we have this opportunity to bring 3, 4, 5 people with us. Tell us why you wanna do this. What is your why? What impact are you wanting to make, and why would you be a good fit for this team?" And then we collect the responses, and it's a blind voting process. We want to keep it fair. We want people to
yeah,
really speak from the heart about why they want to do something. It's not just an opportunity to get out of the mundane of day to day, but it truly is something that the recruiters can use to their benefit to build their book of business, to meet clinicians that they are not able to get on the phone when they're calling them, and then to be able to create a special bond with them that,
yeah,
they would not have been able to get over the phone. So we are there to show up, to do a job. Yes, we want our booth to look great. We want to have a good time, but we're there for business, and
yeah.
we want to show people that, and we want to make those connections and bring in whoever feels like we're the right fit for them, and we just have a good time doing it. We make it a fun event. It's a long days, and it's
Long
hard
days.
work,
Yeah,
long flights out depending on where you're coming from. But at
yeah,
the end of the day, like, it truly is a team building experience, and we want it to have um that feeling to it. And everyone that's gone on the trip with us has always just been like, wow, this is what I expected and then more.
and
And
then
we
yeah,
made it fun and we made it exciting, and it was a nice little switch up in their day to day. So
yeah,
yeah, that's
yeah.
what we love about it.
Yeah, and I love to, I think I don't want to jump ahead, but, like, one of the biggest takeaways was the how excited like, some of the travel nurses with AMN were to, like, come and be like, "I'm traveling with you. I'm on assignment with you right now." Like, that excitement level, I wasn't expecting that, and I don't know, like, I was there obviously in a different capacity, so I don't know how I would have reacted, but it happened a lot, and it was like, "This is my recruiter," and you guys know who the recruiters are. I remember asking, I think you specifically, how many recruiters are there in AMN? Like, how do you know all these people?" And it was like the one common name kept coming up, and we were talking about, like, "Oh my gosh, how many travelers does this recruiter have? Because everyone's traveling with this person." So it was really cool to see.
Yeah. Yeah, that happens a lot, and I honestly think that's one of my favorite things about the conference is being able to meet the travelers, and I do also really feed off of that energy that they have when they come up to us. You can kinda see it from, like, a few feet away. They're smiling, they're
Yeah.
so excited that they found us. But yeah, the first thing out of their mouths is, "I'm a traveler with you, and my recruiter is so and so."
Yeah.
And yeah, and we make that a big deal because it is a big deal. Like
Yeah.
we otherwise would not be able to meet you and your recruiter may not be here, but let's take a selfie. I can send it to them right
Yes.
now. I'll tell them you said hi. We love to get testimonials. If you have something to say, we will gladly grab a marketing person to go ahead and film that.
Yes.
We just love to hear those things. So yeah, it's really exciting. And I think all of us, I think I can speak on behalf of everyone on the team, we feed off of that. We want them to feel like, gosh, you're a part of the AMN family, because they truly are. They're doing so much for
Mhm.
us that, we just want them to know that they're appreciated and, we're there to support them at all times. And yeah, that relationship they have with the recruiter could have been built over the last 6 months or 6 years or 20 plus
Yeah.
years.
Yeah.
But to finally be able to make that connection and all of that is just such a cool thing and probably one of my favorite things about the conference.
Yeah, and even I don't know if this happened because I didn't witness it, but there was so much I didn't witness because there was so much going on. But even on the other end of that, like with let's just call it service recovery. Like let's say there is even an active issue going on that maybe people prefer to address face to face. That's an opportunity for that conversation to happen and maybe show a different side or be like, hey, I'm so sorry that was your experience, let's get you connected with who we can to like make sure that never happens again, which I
Yeah.
think is for me, like I address things because I don't like to have like a bad taste in my mouth. But, I think that, that conference gives that opportunity to have that face to face interaction. And, it's hard to judge someone's personality over the phone, right? Someone can be whomever they want to be. But when you see someone's, you know, gestures, how they're standing, their facial expressions, that really puts a different personal element to it.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, we don't get a whole lot of those throughout the conference. We'll get a few and you can tell they're kind of hesitant to bring it up. They're like, "Oh, I didn't come here to talk about this, but I just have to
Yeah.
mention that this happened." So, it's always just listening. That's the first thing
Yeah.
I do is just listen. Tell me what happened. Like we can talk about it. Let's step off to the side. And they tell me what happened, but usually there has already been a resolution. They just kind of want to talk about it
Yeah.
and at the end of the day, we're all human. Mistakes get made, things get overlooked. But one thing that myself and AMN, we pride ourselves in is that we're always quick to find a resolution. We don't want to leave anything, on the table. We don't want there to be
100%.
unresolved, whatever it is. So, yeah, we want to address that. We want to take responsibility for that. We want to hear you out on what happened. How can we do better? And have we done better? And a lot of times they're like, yeah, my recruiter was on top of it. You guys
Yeah.
fixed this, you fixed that. And I'm still traveling with you, but maybe my recruiter's not with the company anymore, but now I'm working with so and so and they're awesome. I'm so glad I got assigned to them. So it's just really cool because everyone's experience is so different. But yeah, I mean, yeah, we wanna hear that feedback, like, we
Yeah.
wanna do better, so, this year we had a clinician experience survey, QR code that you could scan, so that we could get that feedback because we don't know what's going on out there or what the issues are unless you speak up and tell us, so, yeah, I mean, over the
Right.
phone, those conversations can definitely be had and should be had, but if you have the opportunity to talk to us in person too, by all means, please don't feel like you can't or you don't want to, we're all ears and always receptive to that feedback.
Yeah. Well, I felt like the group there was extremely approachable and you could feel the energy as soon as you walked in the room because of course we need to talk about the theme of the booth. It was seen for miles. It was the best one there, if I'm allowed to say.
I'm gonna have to agree with you on that.
It was so fun.
It was, and I will say, I this is my 5th TravCon, this was Christina's 10th TravCon, she's been doing it a
Oh,
little bit longer than
wow.
I have. Yeah, she's also been with the company a lot
Whoa.
longer I have.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was literally the best booth that we've ever experienced. It was fun. It tied into, the things that we've been doing as a company to make our systems and our technologies really what the travelers need and deserve and what's going to be working 24/7, hence the 24/7 diner theme, not only for
Wow.
us internally, but also for our clinicians. So that ties into our AMM Passport app and just having all the jobs and resources and everything you need right there in your fingertips, whether it's on your laptop via our webpage or if it's on your phones via our app, both of which are called Passport. That's kind of where the 24/7 diner theme came in, is that we're here for you 24/7. Even when you're asleep or your recruiter is asleep, we still have the systems in place to be working for you. And so that really was what we wanted to tie into that. And yeah, I mean, a 24/7 diner, like who doesn't love that? I mean, I wish we would have been walking around in poodle skirts and cute little
Yeah,
50s
me too.
outfits, but
And roller skates.
and roller skates. I mean, might be a little bit of a risk, but yes. But yeah, we just wanted to make it fun. I know we were the cool thing about our outfits was our jackets that we had
Ah,
on, those bomber jackets, which
yes.
were just such an eye catcher and a great way for people to find us. But yeah, we just wanted to show that, like, we are here for business, sure, yes, but we also know how to have a good time. And, the serving of the donuts and the root beer floats and the push pops
Yeah.
and the cake to celebrate our birthday. I mean, all of that was stuff that we did for the first time this year. It really was truly something that we had never done before, and it was a huge success. And we couldn't have been more proud of our team that helped put that together and got it out there for us and set it up for us. And then we were able to just come in and execute. So, yeah, I mean,
It's
and
so
people were talking about it. It's so cool to be able to have your competitors and, the people from Gypsy Nurse and then nurses themselves just coming up and being like, "Oh my god, you guys have the best booth." Yeah, I
yeah.
said it.
It was.
But it wa yeah, I mean, that's just like goes, all of our hard work just really showed up that past weekend. And yeah, it was awesome and it was fun, and we can't wait to do it again next year.
Yeah, I'm still like, I can't believe that I didn't know the 24/7 tie-in. Like, how did I like, I'm like, "Wait, that's brilliant." I
It
didn't
all makes
even
sense now.
it all it all makes sense, and the bright colors and everything. It was so fun, and it lit up the room, and everyone talked about it. And another thing what you said about the passport is there was, like, that big
Uh-huh.
phone, with the passport app that was actually interactive that you could, like, play around on it. So that was, like, really cool too to actually see that, like, for nurses that maybe are like, "Yeah, whatever, it's an app," and just highlight the benefits of what that is, which I thought was really cool.
Totally, yeah, and that was a design concept that we had from last year, so that was in our booth last year, even though our booth looked much different last year. But it was a great way to really promote the app and be able to show them, like, this is everything that you have right at your fingertips if you
Yeah,
download this. So then we had QR codes where they could download it live and in person. We could show them how to set it up, how to search for jobs, everything was on there. So yeah, having that is key because, as we're talking to people, again, it's like we're not assuming everyone has the app downloaded, but if we're mentioning it and we're talking about it, we can show
have
them
it
right
there.
there if they
Yeah,
don't have it. And that's really awesome. And we've gotten a lot of comments about the app and, just all the this is great. This is so user friendly. I'm so glad you guys have this. It makes everything so much easier. So, yeah, I mean, we want it to have that exposure and people to see what it's all about. And then the idea is that they download it and they use it. And
yeah.
it really is a one-stop shop for everything you need to work with us.
Yeah, and I think, as you were saying that, just even other parts of the AMN team that were there beyond the recruitment side, that was really interesting to me because it was nice for me because I got to network a little bit more. But also, if there were specific questions about, the passport app or anything else that there were questions, there were people there to answer that. So I thought that was a really good opportunity for travel nurses to learn more about the company in general as well, just beyond what recruit like that it's more than just the recruiters.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, because I mean, at the end of the day, we know everyone's gonna have questions outside of just recruitment. We wanna make sure we've got the floor covered in terms of, who is our go-to for marketing? Who is our
Yeah.
go-to for maybe clinician experience questions or responses or things that they wanna share? So we just wanna make sure all that information and that feedback gets in the right hands, so
Yeah. So it really benefits both sides, like a lot of, why Ammon goes and why as a nurse you should go. Like there's just so much that each side gets. It's not just like, okay, let's set up a booth and see what happens. There really is that meaning about growth of and changes that the travel industry is seeing.
yeah, and we just hope everyone walks away from the event not only having a good time, but really being able to take back, like, this core memory or this experience
Mhm.
that they can then go and share with others, that will drive them to come to the conference, that will drive them to want to talk to us. Maybe they wanna refer a friend to their recruiter if they're on assignment with us. So, yeah, I mean, there's so many opportunities for everyone, and it is such a great way to just be a part of that, to get exposed to that, and to just take what you can from it and just go open-minded, have a good time, collect all your swag, and
Oh, so much swag.
yeah, collect
So
it
much
all
swag.
and take it back with you and enjoy it. But yeah, it truly is a great experience, and we just wanna make sure that we provide that every year. So
Yeah.
kudos to
I
the
think
team this year.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I wanted to kind of wrap this up with saying like the top 3 takeaways maybe from both of us, but before I know that one of mine is something that maybe might be yours, so in case it is, we can talk about it a little bit more before we wrap up, but I know this year Ammon had a contest that we gave away I always include myself in the we, but y'all gave away, like, some tickets to TravCon.
Yeah.
Yeah, and one of the I was only able to meet one of them. I know that the other ones to stop by as well, but the one that we met, it just was so amazing to hear the gratitude and the gratefulness and the story with that. And I'm like, I feel like that's something that needs to be highlighted. And I am going to hound her until she comes on this podcast because I've never met such a inspiring person in my life, and I'm so grateful that she was one of the winners of the ticket because it was such an amazing experience.
Yeah, yeah. So the incentive was a social media incentive where the clinicians had the opportunity to submit a video to us. And during a certain time frame, we would pick random winners. And so we did have three winners who all won a free ticket to TravCon. And then they had to come find us at the booth and do a little interview for our marketing team. But they were all more than happy to do that and had nothing but great things to say about their recruiters. The recruiter, or I'm sorry, the clinician that you're referring to, her name was Embe. So shout out Embe. I better
Yes.
see you on a future podcast.
Yes.
But yeah, she just was so, I mean, that moment right there and hearing her story and hearing her why and just her gratitude for the company and her recruiter was like a big reason why we do what we do, because we
Mhm.
are making an impact on her life. She is making an impact on her clinicians' lives. Anyone that she comes in
Yeah.
contact with, she's just so passionate about what she does. But on the flip side, being so grateful for the opportunities that have been given to her that it is just so heartwarming. And I know she was there for such a long time at like the busiest time of the day, but
I
it was
know.
great to interact with her, to read the card that she had handmade and presented to us for us to be able to take
Yeah.
back was really cool. And we actually ran into her after the keynote speaker on Tuesday, and she just
Oh,
thanked us again and was so grateful. And yeah, I mean, it makes me a little emotional, gives me chills, all the
yeah.
things. But yeah, I mean, that is really why we do what we do. And that's just it. You can't get more wholesome than that. And it is so inspiring and motivational and really just drives me. And I know I can speak on behalf of her recruiter and others. Like, that is why we do what we do. 'Cause we're making those differences and making those connections.
Yeah, and she even came up, like, the next day on Tuesday and was like, "And thank you," and just hugged me, and I'm like, You're welcome. I didn't do anything, but you're welcome." Like, she just was I couldn't I know, it just was, like, so empowering and just really I needed to hear that because I was losing some faith in, just why I feel some nurses don't, why we're doing what we're doing and we're losing sight of that. And it was just such a good positive thing. And I'm a firm believer in all things happen for a reason. And that really gave me that, faith back that, at the end of the day, we're nurses and we all are here because we love it and because we wanna take care of others, and just, like she just, like, kept hugging me, and it was, like, the sweetest thing, so
Oh.
she better listen to this and know that I'm gonna find her and I'm gonna make her come on here.
We will get her on there. Yeah, no, it's so inspiring and yeah, it's memories like that that you really
Yeah.
take with you and what makes it
Yeah.
worth it and tying it back to like some of the speaking panels that we did. I spoke on Nursing Beyond Borders, which was about medical mission trips and I had just come back from a 2-week trip to Guatemala. And so just being able to go and speak there and share my experience about that and then having people come up to me afterwards of like, "Oh my gosh, you inspired me to go out and do this. That was amazing. Like, can you send me more information? How can I get in
Yeah.
contact with you?" So yeah, it's just things like that. Like you're being inspired by another nurse and we're all inspiring or being inspired by someone that we've interacted with and that is really just what brings it full circle and it's such a cool feeling to bring back home with you and just gives you kind of that new lens to kind of see things from a different
Yeah,
perspective and we need that every now and then because
we do.
we do this every day, so we need a little bit of perspective and a little bit of a mindset shift, so
Yeah, and, I would love to dive more into the medical mission trips, like, that is such a amazing thing, and I personally wanna learn more about that, so we'll have to maybe circle back and talk about that a little bit more because you have been actively involved in that, and I'd love that, so I'll have to
yes.
make that happen. But I mean, I feel like we covered so much, and I always like to end things on, top like I said, top 3, but if there's only 2, that's fine too, but, like, what are your biggest takeaways? And then I'll give mine.
Oh gosh, biggest takeaways, I think for from, like, our perspective is just that there's so many nurses out there that don't know what opportunities are out there for them, and so I said it before and I'll say it again, like, get yourself out of your comfort zone. Go to a travelers conference or TravCon or some other conference that's closer to you. We understand
Yeah,
not everyone can make it out to Vegas. They
yeah,
can't get the time off. It's all good. But yeah, get yourself out there. Go to these networking things and just meet your peers that are out there. You're all doing incredible things. But if you have the opportunity, just do it. Keep an open mind, just book the flight, book the hotel, buy the ticket, go and do it. I promise you, you will not have a bad time. I think for the clinicians, yeah, just have a good time. And then, for myself, my biggest takeaway is just, every year this gets better and better. Every year I have some experience that just makes it so worth it and so fulfilling. So I'm going to continue to do what I do and I hope to see you guys there next year. And yeah, there's probably so much more I could say about like takeaways, but yeah, it's just overall such a great time and such a great experience. So I say just get out of your comfort zone. Get
do it.
comfortable being uncomfortable. So
Yes,
it's worth it.
yes. And I think, like, my biggest, like, highlights from it, because this was, like, my first time, is, just meeting the other travelers and those conversations that happen, like, you learn so much, and hearing, like, the stories, it just it pushes me to be like, "Okay." Like, it reminds me, "This is why I'm doing it. There are bad times, but there are even more good times than
Yeah.
bad." So just it was very, very motivating for me. And, another thing is it's a fun conference, but there's so much that you can take away from that on a professional level. Like, I remember walking through being like, "Why didn't I sign up to renew my PALs? Like, why didn't I do that?" It's like those
Why?
opportunities. Yeah, why? Why didn't I do it? So, just taking advantage of those other opportunities, outside of the conference, but there's so much that you can take away from it professionally. And then at the end of it, go have fun at the after parties, So
Yeah.
it's like it really is like a great time to just have, be rewarded for the hard work that maybe you put in during that day. So
Yes.
I think those
Yeah.
are my biggest takeaways.
Absolutely. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, that's really what it's all about. Like, take advantage of it, go do it, you're going to be busy. You're going to be back to back walking around, going to panel discussions,
Yeah.
going to get CEUs done, renewing your
Yeah.
certifications, doing the yoga, going to the Traveler Success Boot Camp. I mean, it is going to be a long trip, but maximize it because
Yeah.
you're investing in your future essentially. When you buy that ticket, you book that flight, you book that hotel, yeah, you're spending money, but you're investing in your future because you do
Right.
not know what you're going to get out of this. But if you keep that open mind and you just do it and go through the motions and get it all done, you will bring back so much more than what you left with. And that's what it's all about. So
Yeah. Exactly. Well, thank you so much for coming on here. I'm so glad I got to spend TravCon with you and everyone else on the team. But yeah, I just was this was great, and I hope it inspires more nurses to come and even be even bigger and better every year.
absolutely, absolutely. Well, thank you so much for having me. I had a blast getting to know you and figuring out what
Yes.
our little mutual connection was.
Yes.
But yeah, let's keep this going. And thank you
Yes.
for all you do for us. And thank you
Well,
so
thank
much for
you.
having me.
Yes. Thank you for tuning in to Nursing Uncharted. You can learn more about this episode and our show on our website at amnhealthcare.com. If you enjoyed this episode, share it with a friend and subscribe to our show on your favorite podcast platform. You can also find show updates and nursing opportunities on our Instagram at AMN Nurse. Special thanks to AMN Healthcare for making this show possible.